What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate you guys being here tonight on another episode of Roofing Underground. It has been a little while since we've been able to do one of these episodes. I try to get these in every now and then. Sometimes I just don't have shit to say. And if you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name's Dave. I am the CEO at A5 Roofing, the MF CEO here at Roofing Underground, and your favorite roofer's favorite roofer. So thanks for being on the show today. Definitely appreciate you guys tuning in and bearing with us as we took some time off, right? Like, here's the thing about podcasting. Um, People have to have something to say. Like, there needs to be something that they're specifically trying to share with you in order for the content to be valuable. And sometimes you just simply don't have shit to say, right? Like, there's sometimes where people are expecting you. Like, I even got this last week, I got some messages that were kind of along the lines of, hey, missed seeing your content, right? Like, we missed seeing you. It's been a while since I've seen some of your content, man. Keep going, blah, blah, blah. And while all that's cool, just understand that sometimes I just don't have some shit worth talking about, right? Like, there are periods of life where you go weeks as an entrepreneur without feeling like you have a win worth celebrating, or a milestone, or an achievement, or things like that. And for us at A5, we have been really, really, really focused in on our growth and growing our business. And so we've hit a lot of milestones. One of those milestones that I was actually super proud about, ending up in the #1 spot in the organic searches in a particular market area on Google. That is a huge, for us, it is a huge accomplishment, especially considered some of our direct, as an entrepreneur, some of our direct competition spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their marketing campaigns and their budgets. And we did it with paying zero money to any professionals outside of automating our review process. As a business, it's super important for your ranking and for your activity on Google. So automate as much stuff as you can. And that's one of the things that we automated that really helped change the way that we looked at it. And there were some other things that we did. I'll drop some more content briefly about that later on. Tonight, we kind of want to talk about something that's there was an issue that happened this week at work, and today we had a conversation about it. And it was we had a contract with a church, very large roofing project. Had the contract, had the permits pulled here in the city that we work in. Everything was going well with that project. It was stuck. The pastor and the congregation of the church were stuck in this situation with their insurance company and a public adjuster, and they kind of wanted out of that relationship to help things just move on a little more fluidly. And in that process, we did a bunch of work. We provided a ton of value. We did a bunch of tarping for them. We got a contract on this project. Through the process, once we got their initial payment, through the process, we ran into a wall with the public adjuster that was assigned to it. Public adjuster is like a person that's supposed to come in and help property owners when they have an issue with their insurance company, specifically regarding their policy. And so this church had a public adjuster involved that they no longer wanted to involve claim, and it made the insurance process really difficult for them. And so we got involved as their contractor, and we're ready to go. We took a big payment from them, and then they ran into another head wall with the public adjuster getting out of this situation. So we gave, right, we didn't relinquish the contract. We didn't back out of the contract. We gave them their initial deposit on this big project. We gave them their deposit back because we didn't want to hold on to their money. It's not right to take somebody's business and hold on to it indefinitely, because you are going to end up at some point in time using that money to pay your bills, and that is illegal, right? Like, that is a problem. And so we take the money, we give it back to them, and we start working back through the process of waiting on this third party to get out of the situation. At some point in time, we come to find out that they hired another roofer. They had the roof done. And they didn't say anything to us. They stopped answering the phone calls from our company, and we finally, had a conversation with the people in the organization at the church, and they said, "Well, we can talk to you guys about it Wednesday if you'd like to talk." Well, we have a signed contract and we have a bunch of work, and we even took a lot of y'all's money and then gave it back to you because we didn't want to hold on to it while y'all figured things out, right? So they found somebody to do it a lot cheaper, um, which is surprising to me, right? The thing that surprises me the most about this is that this is a church, a congregation, and it really got me thinking about the difference between how people live their lives, and how people would love for others to think they live their lives, right? Without casting any shadow or throwing shade at anybody in the congregation, because this is not directed towards them. This is simply the difference between living under a covenant and living under a contract, right? As contractors and business professionals and salespeople, we live under contracts. We have contracts with our customers. We have contracts with our employers. If you're an independent contractor, you have contracts with as an employer. I have contracts with my sales team. I have contracts with my subcontractor labor. I have contracts with my material distributing partners. I have contracts with manufacturers that we sign. We have sometimes there are like non-compete contracts in place, non-disclosure agreements in place. There could be all sorts of things. And these documents that we live and breathe by have terms and conditions on them. It's clearly outlined what's supposed to happen and what happens in exchange for that. And on the back of a lot of contracts, you'll find fine print, and this is usually on every contract you sign. So the fine print literally tells you what you can do in the event that A, B, and C happen, where you want to get out of your contract, right? Your contracts must describe, as a business professional, how both sides are able to abate the contract as long as everybody agrees to it, right? And you don't need to get like lawyers and shit involved. Well, these folks decided that they didn't want to do that. They just wanted to hire another roofer, pay this guy with the money we gave them back, pay this guy, have the project done. That's kind of a problem for a business person, because we live under contracts. Okay. And when people live under contracts, if you make a contractual agreement with yourself and it's just on the four corners of the document, and you say, "Hey, I'm going to try my best to accomplish some shit, like A, B, or C is what I want to do, and I'm going to try to do this," and you make a contract with yourself, most of us are going to set terms and conditions that we can use or take advantage of in order to get out of this contractual obligation we have, whether it's to ourselves or to other people or whatever the case may be. Naturally, as human beings, we want to find, or we want to at least have in the terms and conditions, a way out. This is my belief why a lot of marriages fail, is because people live under contract in their marriages. They don't live under a covenant, which is entirely fucking different, right? When you live by a covenant, I want you to think of, for some of you guys out there watching this, you remember when you were kids. I don't know if they do this anymore, but back before we realized AIDS was a thing, what young guys used to do would, like, if we had like scrapes on our hands or whatever, we would high five each other and our blood would mix, and we would, that was my blood brother, that was my dude. You have these relationships sometimes in your life where there are people that you will absolutely go to war for. There are your children, obligation that you have to your children to protect them and to raise them the right way. These are things, some of these things go beyond contracts. There are no terms for severing the agreement. And the problem with a lot of people is we walk around our lives and we behave and we act like we're living under contract, when the absolute truth is, if more of us made a conscious fucking decision to live by a covenant, something that can't be my word, if I give them my word, this means more to me than a signature on paper. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to fucking do it. There's no other option. There's not a plan B. There are no terms and conditions on the backside of my integrity that say, in case shit happens, here's a way out. Not happening. And I expect that from the people that I do business with. My team here at A5, I do life with them. When I interview people, I tell them on the first interview, we're going to have a conversation just to see how it goes. Interview 2 is always in person. And we do that one in order for me to figure out if you are somebody that I want to do life with. As a business owner, you are doing life with your staff. You are in long-term relationships with your sales team. This is just a fact of it. It's not an opinion. It's not what should happen or could happen. If you own a business and you're an entrepreneur, if you run a team, you are doing life with these people. Are they the kind of people that are going to live under contract? Or do you feel like the people that you're surrounding yourself with are the kinds of motherfuckers that live by a covenant? Because that's the kind of people that you want on your team. I want to know that when I go to business, that if my business is going down, the people that I started my business with, if I have partners, we're not in contract. We are in a covenant. If the business goes down, we all go down. No man left behind. That's the kind of shit that I want. That's what I expect when people walk in and they ask me, hey, can I put this on my chest? Let me ask you a question. Do you know the difference? See, when we live by contract, there's all these little funny things about a contract, right? There's ways to get out of it, there's ways to amend it, there's ways to correct it, and there's ways inside of the contract to protect your rights. Okay? When you live by contract, you're constantly relying on all these other things to fall into place so that the terms of the agreement of the contract are reasonable and everybody gets a signature on paper, right? That's what happens in sales. When you live by a covenant, when people already know that win, lose, or draw, they are going to get the absolute best from you, no holds barred. They are going to get exactly what they were promised. The advertisement matches the product that was delivered. And it's genuine every time. The same motherfucker every day. Not going back on his word every day. Doing her best to be the example every day. These are the kinds of people that you want to surround yourself with. People that obviously know the difference between covenant and contract. In our marriage, I think men, we have an obligation to live by covenant. Our marriage and our families are something very sacred that we should fight to the death to protect. This is not a contract. There are no easy ways out. And it's very important for that men specifically, especially right now in our society and the way things are, that men find a way to stand up and start living these high value lives, because we need more men bonded by covenant. We need more women in our world that are bonded by covenant, not contracts. If people start eliminating the terms and the conditions of their promises to themselves, to learn more, to get a better job, to make more income, to do these things, and then they find a way out, oh, I guess this is just it. I tried. Oh, I wanted to do that thing, and I never actually got an opportunity to do that thing, right? I was talking to a guy today and I was telling him something I wanted to do my entire life since the age I was like fucking 6 or 7 years old. I had always thought about this one thing. And then we got into this, 20 years down the road, here I was, and we tried and it didn't work. And I wanted to do it again. And I waited too long. And then some more time passed and I got on another thing and I never took advantage of the opportunity to do the thing. And I just regret it, right? Not taking the initiative, not taking it seriously enough to make it happen. And he asked me, he said, well, why the hell did you do that? I said, oh, it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. And he's like, no, you just didn't work hard enough. Fuck, maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have left terms and conditions on the back of my promises to myself. Maybe I should have made a decision to live by a covenant, a promise made where there are no terms available under any circumstance. Can you abate this covenant? And that's a fucking difference. If you're a sales guy and you adopt a set of core values and you decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock doors for an hour a day and generate new leads in qualified areas. And of those leads, I'm going to focus my skills, talents, and abilities on being able to provide more solutions and solve more problems for a larger chunk of these, and hopefully be able to convert more sales. This means I can earn more income and take my daughters on the trips that I want to take them on. I can buy my wife the shit that my wife wants to buy. I can do these things for my family if I work harder and dedicate myself to creating a plan and sticking to it and relentlessly pursuing this plan. And I live by covenant. Your outcome will be so much greater. My wife deserves to stay at home if that's what she wants to do. I better make a bunch of effort for that to happen. My children deserve to go on cruises and shit, Disney cruises and stuff. They're not cheap. Your kids deserve that. Your family deserves the best version of life that you could possibly give them while they're on this earth. I had somebody check me the other day and say that, it's not all about material. I could do without the material things, and I don't need this house, and I don't need that car, and I don't need this. Nobody fucking needs it. Nobody needs it. Nobody needs a $4 million home. Nobody needs a fucking Lamborghini. That's not why they make them. They don't make them because everybody needs them. Right? Let's be real about that for a minute. I tell you what, I've been down the road at 65 miles an hour in a Honda Civic. I've never been down the road at 65 miles an hour in a Lamborghini, but I bet you the shit feels different. I fucking guarantee you it feels different. Okay? Let's just start with that. 65 miles an hour in a Lambo with the windows down feels a little bit different than 65 on 35 with the windows down in a fucking 97 Honda Civic. Different. And I'm okay with that. That's the kind of experiences that I want from my life. I want to be able to take how cool would it be to drop off my daughter in middle school or high school in a Lambo? That would be sweet. That would be sweet. The guy that manages all my finances and my assets drops his daughter off in a Ferrari to school. That's fucking awesome. That's great. I want my children to watch me win. I want them to see me to accomplish these things that their friends and their kids at school talk about, and they have posters on their wall. One of my youngest daughter's friends, and found that Casey's friend found out that Jackie drives an all-white Raptor, right? Like this is like the brand new one, and it's super sweet. This thing's a freaking machine, dude. But she drives this badass Raptor and off stormtroopers screaming down the interstate. I loved it. I love it. I'm so jealous. But the kid found out that she drives a white Raptor, and she was like, "Oh my God, your mom drives a white Raptor. Like, what the fuck? That's cool, right?" She wasn't cussing. This kid's like, Kennedy and Casey's parents had the thing that she thought was the coolest thing ever. Like, that was in close proximity to her. Now, hopefully this young girl can be inspired and be like, hey, listen, that's a possibility. My friend's mom has one, and I can see it, and I can touch that. There's power in accomplishing great things and putting an award or putting a reward or putting a prize in front of other people. I have a buddy of mine that owns a very large roofing company here in Texas, and he told me a story one day. He was here in San Antonio picking up a new G-Wagon. And I said, hey, man, I'm not going to say his name. I said, what the fuck are you doing buying a G-Wagon, dude? Like, it is, the airplane's not enough, and, so on and so forth. He said, oh, no. He goes, no, it's you don't understand. The vice president made a promise to himself that if he hit a certain sales goal, he was going to buy himself a G-Wagon, and he missed that sales goal. And I was like, oh, shit. Dude, you're going to buy this guy a G-Wagon? Like, you're just going to gift him a fucking G-Wagon? That is awesome. I quit my job. I come work for you at your roofing company. And he said, no, it's not for him. The G-Wagon's for me because he lives next door to me. So every day I drive this motherfucker home, he's going to look at it and he's going to go, God damn, that's that close. That's that close. And that guy, because of who he is, because that young man, the vice president that I'm talking about, lives his life by a covenant. There are no terms and conditions that he would agree to that will let him out of the promise he made to himself. I'm fucking this close. And that guy will go do it again because you put that prize, that reward right in front of him. That's the same thing, the same reason we celebrate wins when we meet together as a team and we talk about victories for the week. The exact same reason. We want to celebrate those wins. We want to put the reward in front of everyone and say, see, right there, possible. And it's right next to you. The guy next to you accomplished this. If we had more people inside of our culture and our society that chose to live by covenant, we would have more of those successful people, those people that gained the prize, that got the thing. This would be like, see, hey, neighborhood kids, look, you see what we accomplished? See what you're capable of? Look, right? Hey, neighbor, over here, come here. Let me talk to you about this. Let me show you what I accomplished. And here's an idea on how you can accomplish it. I gave an idea to a dude. I was at the gym the other day. And I've always thought this was it was so weird that no matter what gym I go to, none of them sell headphones. None of these gyms sell headphones or earbuds or anything like that. And so I went to the gym, left my headphones. I had to do my workout in absolute misery, right? But again, having a covenant mindset tells me that I'm going to fucking work out whether or not I got my headphones. I just got to listen to Ace of Base on the gym speakers. That's it. That's the only difference. I don't get Eric Thomas and CT Fletcher, get Rob Bailey, and I don't get music that usually gets me hype and helps me go, but I got my workout in, right? And we do it anyways because there's no terms and conditions that will allow me to back out of that agreement that I've made with myself. That's it. This is what I'm going to do. And I told the guy when I got to the gym, this workout's going to suck. Hey, here's an idea. Nobody does this. Why don't you buy a bunch of headphones on Alibaba or some shit like that? Sell them at the gym for like $12, man. I guarantee you people would buy them. And he was like, man, you think so? And I was like, dude, I know so 100%. Bunch of stuff on Alibaba. And it's works. I literally went to the gym again, not even a week later, went to the gym without my headphones. And I was like, bro, did you get those earbuds in yet? He's like, nah, ain't got them in yet. I said, how much are you going to sell them for when you get them? He's like, dude, I'm only going to end up paying like 98 cents or $1.98 per set of headphones. I said, what are you going to sell them for? Most of the time they retail for like $12.95. What the fuck? That's awesome. And he made an agreement to give me free headphones for life. So that was a pretty dope exchange. I'm glad that I brought some value to my man's life, and my man definitely brought value to my life by giving me some free headphones every time I forget my fucking headphones. Anyways, we talk about that, reciprocating that value for a very specific reason, right? If you can impart more impact on the people around you, if you can share something with somebody, if you can contribute to their life or add something to their life, if more people in our community do that, if more people inside of our industry, inside of the roofing industry were to do that, what would it look like? What would it look like outside walking through the aisles of my grocery store if more people inside of that grocery store believed in excellence and integrity? What if more people inside of that grocery store chose to live by covenant and adopted individual core values? Most of the time, you'll find out like people that have belief systems or core values, for the most part, it doesn't matter if you agree with the same things that they value. We can all believe in a different set of commandments or a different set of laws or a different set of core values or a set of ethics. We can all have different ones, but to live, the people that choose to live by a covenant that have adopted this belief system to heart. By and large, these are great people. They hold themselves in high regard. Their integrity matters to them. There's a lot of these men and women out here in society that have these strong belief systems or these strong mental mindsets. They're by and large some of the best folks you're ever going to encounter. Imagine if we had more of them and more people that were passionately religious. Passionately. I'm not talking about like, throwing rocks at strippers and shit. Like that's not what I'm not talking about like that kind of religious, like, like Pharisees or anything. I'm saying, what if more people had a dedicated relationship with their creator and were grateful and lived their lives in 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 just a state of gratitude and grace and compassion? What what a better model we would have as a society and a culture. What if we had more men that valued being positive, masculine men? The guy that's willing to slay the dragons. Women don't necessarily want a knight in shining armor to swoop in and save them and solve all their fucking problems, at least not the women that I've been around. But I can think that every woman would agree that when it's time for the man to pull out the sword and kill the monster, they're happy to have that guy there. What if we had more men in our culture that were willing to fight dragons? What if we had more men in our society that lived by covenant? It'd be easy to see. It'd be easy to spot. You can't fake that. That part of you developing that mindset and building yourself into that person that lives by a set of standards or core values that you cannot fuck with. That kind of person, their reputation precedes them. These people around, they know who these guys are. They know what they're about. And when they walk in the room, everybody knows what time it is. You know exactly the product you're getting from this person because he lives by covenant. And that's the kind of person that I think we should all strive to be. Do you disagree? You're welcome to. You're more than welcome to disagree. I actually encourage you to tell me, Dave, I think that's bullshit. Dave, I don't agree with you at all. Dave, I don't think you need to have core values. I think you should just go about your life and do whatever the hell you want. That's fine. We don't have to agree. We can agree on that. But be impeccable with your words and only say things that you think are absolutely true. If you're going to make the statement and tell me that nothing matters and you can do anything that you want to and live the rest of your life being that. Be impeccable with your word. Make a covenant to yourself to stick with that for the rest of your life, and I can respect that. I may not agree with your decision, but goddamn, I respect your grit to stick by what you said. The world, I think our industry, I think a lot of things would greatly improve if we had more people dedicated to honoring their word and living by covenant instead of pretending that they can just look at the fine print and find the easy way out. If I give somebody my word, I want them to understand it's exactly what they're going to get 100% of the time. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Drop a comment down below, guys. I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me here tonight while we talk about issues that are obviously bothering me this week. It's been real. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me again. I'm Dave. I'm the motherfucking MF CEO at A5 Roofing, the CEO here at Roofing Underground, your favorite roofer's favorite roofer. And I, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.